I spent all that time working only to get shafted with this? Huh. That's all I could think about as I sat in my place looking at the device, barely caring about it as I twiddled with it. The acceptance of the waste of time I had put in had sunk me into a depressive state. So far in, I didn't notice the device activating. As I stared forward towards my desktop, the light seemed to go across my whole place, like little lines scanning it, top to bottom. I shook myself out of the state to try and find the source before it announced itself.
New host identified. Beginning creation.
A robot voice came from the device, now just starting to hover over my hand. My mind raced across the place. New host? Creation? What's next? The device gonna turn out to be a bomb? As I got up to go grab my cat, a wall of light appeared in the middle of my way to get my cat. I peered around it to see that it is not supported by anything. It just seems to float there in the middle of the room. I looked behind it to see my cat standing, curious. His tail frizzed up as he walked closer to the wall. "Con, come here," I said to him, though it seemed curiosity had gotten the better of him as he edged closer to the wall. I moved around the wall and was about to grab him when he noticed what I was doing. He immediately sprang into action as he ran into the wall. Without thinking, I went straight after him, crashing to the solid wall of light. As I stepped out the other side, the whole atmosphere seemed to change. There I stood on a platform pure white, what seemed to be the middle of a void. There was nothing beyond the platform. The only things besides me and Khan were the initial wall we came through, and a second wall. "Khan, we don't know where the fuck we are. Just come here." I attempted to coax him before his body attitude changed. Instead of the curious and playfulness, he seemed to tense with his gray striped hair standing on end. He bolted at the other wall, with me struggling to keep up. As he jumped into the wall, it closed as soon as he was through. I tried coming to a stop, but my momentum kept me going as a new wall opened. I sailed right through. When I woke up, I thought it was all a dream. I had just got home and completely fell asleep as soon as I touched my bed. That's when I noticed there was no ceiling above me. I was lying on my back in what seemed to be a field of grass. I moved my hands to prop myself up, putting the palms of my hands into the grass. The wet dew seemed to be all over the field I was in. Looking around, I noticed a forest. Then I saw a town to the left of me. As I got up, something else came to my attention. The entire place seemed to have a tint of blue, seeming like the sun was colored as such. Looking up, sure enough, the sky was as lit by a blue-tinted sun. "I don't think we're in Kansas, Toto," I quoted. Where I was, I could not recognize it for the life of me. As much as I'm not a geographical nerd, the landscape seemed too alien to me. I got to my feet finally. My plan was to make for the town, check for anyone, supplies, or anything that might tell me where I am. As I started walking, I figured it was a good idea to check on what I even have. The usual items were found: phone, earbuds, wallet, keys, a pair of work gloves that I forgot to put away. What surprised me was the other two that I didn't expect to have. It seems like there was a cylindrical device strapped to my belt, looking like a big quarter dispenser. The other was my water bottle. I don't remember bringing it with me through the walls, let alone the fact I left it in my truck. I just got off work. This shouldn't be possible. I opened to see if it at least had any water, to find it filled with both ice and water. Perplexed, I chalked it up to my situation already being impossible anyway. A water bottle seemingly appearing out of nowhere filled. Well, that may as well be par for the course. It took a few minutes to get closer to the town, so I could make out any definite features. What I saw unnerved me. The entire place seemed to be devoid of life. No movement seemed to come from anywhere. Not to mention the entire place was just covered in plants. I racked my brain. I believe I knew this exact place. Not the location, but a town matched description of a place I had read. A place I had only imagined. One I was currently writing. In between everything, I had been writing a story in my off time. One about a world shockingly too like this one. That's when I heard it. The sounds of engines trundling along the road. I looked to see them. Armored vehicles. Not moderns. Old ones. An experimental heavy tank designated T-29. A medium tank designated T-34. And of course, the tank destroyer rolling as slow as ever. The A-2. I thought I was going mad. There was no way that's them, but looking closer, their names were right on the holes. T-29, War Dogs. T-34, Potato Fortress. Of course, the ATS-2, the Starfighter. This was beyond impossible. There had to be something going on, but reflecting on the situation only made it seem more impossible. The feeling of everything, the wind, the condensation on my water bottle, the grass under my boots, all of it led to the fact I wasn't asleep. I pulled out my phone to do one final check. I took a picture of the rolling convoy. There it was on the screen, the 3 armored vehicles, the road they were treading, blue tint clearly visible. I put aside the distrust of my mind and began to think what the next play was. They may be the crews I had written, driving tanks I have ridden about, but they also had no reason to not shoot me on first sight. They don't know me at all. As far as they're concerned, I'm an insane person that just showed up out of nowhere. Though, knowing how I had written them, I also knew how they acted in the past. How they were written to be kind with the force to back their actions. Nothing else to do, I walked into their path, waving my hands in the air. That is the end of chapter 1.